Is Wednesday. We have our Wednesday live Q&A session in our Empowered Fitness community for women over 40 looking to get energized, confident, and strong. I'm so glad to have you here today. I hope you watched our Motivation Monday video. Welcome to all of our new members this week who are just getting started. I tagged you in a post yesterday with some great resources to get you started. Another great way to get started in this group is the guide section, where I have lots of freebies in there for you to start looking through. And today on Wednesdays, what I do is I go through your questions that you've asked as you join the group and answer those and figure out what's holding us all back from getting going on our goals and help you get started with a few different ways to get started. So to take a look at the text in the post here, if you take a look, I've given you 3 options to get started on your journey. What I hate is when people have a goal and they take 0 action. I am a massive action taker. I know from all of my personal development reading, one of my favorites is Grant Cardone. He's got a book called The 10X Rule, and he says that whatever you want to achieve, you have to do 10 times more than you think it's going to take to achieve that goal. And I love Mel Robbins, who's got the 5-second rule. She says, if you want to do something, give yourself 5 seconds, and then you got to do it. You got to take action. And so I'm going to give you 3 options to take action today. The first one is to book a call with me. If you haven't had a game plan call with me, then you should get on my calendar, because this is an amazing opportunity to have a free consultation call with me where I'm going to go over what's going on with you. We're going to go over your goals. We're going to go over what you've been doing, what's holding you back, and what you want to achieve. And we're going to take some action to get you there and give you some viable options if it's a fit for us. And then the second option is for you to take advantage. I held an incredible masterclass this past Monday. It went so great, and I've gotten great feedback. The ladies who were on were super excited to get their journey started with macros nutrition. So you get so many great things with that. The macros masterclass, you get a pre-done meal plan, you get a worksheet to make your own meal plans, and you get 50 amazing recipes that are interchangeable with the pre-done meal plan. So you can start doing macros without even having to really understand totally what's going on, but you will have a good understanding. With that, I've paired the 10-minute tone-up workouts that you can add on if you're looking for nutrition and fitness to start your journey. Or the other option is my menopausal metabolism reboot paired with the fit and fast workouts. So those are some really great options that you can do on your own to just go ahead and get started. Otherwise, if you want to have a call with me and we can go over what I think is the best thing for you, or if it's neither of those, maybe it's my Empowered Fitness Mastery program, which is more of an intensive program, a 3-month commitment where we're really working on everything. You get all my best stuff. So take a look at those things if you're ready to just start something. Today, I want to figure out what your questions are and answer those. So let's take a look first. I've got a little sampling of ladies who are in the group, and I see a bunch of different reasons why they are feel like they're held back from getting success and getting to their goals and what their struggle is. Now, Tammy writes that her biggest issue is willpower. And for those of you who maybe stopped, I think it's in the banner of our group here, I have a training on the barriers to weight loss. And one of the things that I mentioned in that training is that relying on willpower is not going to get you anywhere, because we shouldn't be using willpower to get to our goals, to go through our daily lives. Who wants to rely on willpower every day of your life? You shouldn't be relying on willpower. Instead, we want to create a plan that's not so hard to follow, right? So that's a really good clue. I just dried my hair, so it's already puffing up. It's rainy. That's a good clue. If you feel like you're relying on willpower, that something's wrong, that you're not following the right plan, and that we need to make a change, okay? Laura says that hormones are holding her back. She's going through menopause. She's not seeing any results, even with working out 3 times a week. Okay, so maybe something's going wrong. Maybe we're not in alignment we want to figure out what's going on. And so that would be a great thing for Laura, is like the menopausal reboot, so she can start learning exactly what's holding her back. Savannah says she's not succeeding because she doesn't have a plan. I agree. Having a plan is really important in order to succeed at anything, right? If we start a new business, we have a business plan. If we want to make dinner for our family, we have to have a plan as to what we're going to make. We don't just stand in front of the fridge and hope that something comes together. Maybe some do, but it usually doesn't work that way. Anything we want to succeed at in life, we should have a plan. So that's why I like to do these game plan calls, to really make a solid plan of action and at least take your first steps, right, in the right direction. Camille says she's exhausted all the time and can't get moving. So we got to figure out why Camille is exhausted. Is she overwhelmed? Is she not getting good sleep? Are menopausal symptoms holding her back from getting good sleep? Or is it her own routine, her bedtime routine? Is it that she's not getting enough calories in the day? Is that she's doing too many workouts? Is it that she's not moving enough, right? What gets in motion stays in motion. So we have to be creating energy and preserving energy. So let's figure out together, Camille, what's holding you back? What's making you so exhausted, okay? Maybe we're missing some key nutrients. Helena says nutrition is holding her back, but she says they say menopause. So it could be a combo of both. We have to be eating for what we're doing, what our goals are, and of course, what stage we are at in life. Things change when we hit this period of hormonal change, and so we have to eat and move accordingly and rest accordingly. Mindy says, she says, I get discouraged or frustrated and stop trying. You guys know that image of like two guys and they're digging a tunnel and they're trying to get to the other side, or digging a China or whatever, and they get like within inches of each other and they're like, nah, this isn't working, and then they both turn back. We can't stop trying. You can never stop trying, because the only thing that happens if you quit is you go backwards, right? If you keep changing your approach, if you find the right approach, then you won't be getting discouraged. You won't stop trying. So first of all, we need a plan that's going to work, right? It gets us results, maybe gets us a quick win. That's how I work with my clients, is I get them a quick win. It gets them really motivated and excited. And then we keep adding new tools and changing things that keep them moving in the right direction. But if we got frustrated because we didn't get to our goal, let's say in like 2 weeks, then that's not enough time. And that brings me to one of my other favorite authors, Hal Elrod. He's the author of both The Miracle Morning and Miracle Equation. And it's the Miracle Equation that I really, really love. And I might listen to this after I finish. I don't know if anybody else is into it. Rebecca Yarros just came out with her third book in the series Onyx Storm. I think that's what it's called. I started today. I'm 2 hours in. But after I finish that book, I only got like 14 hours left. I really want to go back and listen to the Miracle Equation. It's one of my favorites. And Hal Elrod's Miracle Equation is that he says that miracles happen when you do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, with unwavering faith that miracles can occur, that they can come true, that you can achieve your goals. But you have to be willing to do it and do what it takes for as long as it takes. So you keep working. And I think the big thing with that is that it's really not the destination. It's all about the journey and enjoying the journey along the way. That the journey is the journey. I've said that before. And so we have to stay in the journey, because again, the only way you lose is if you quit. Okay. Let's see. Debbie says her lack of energy as well is holding her back. Marcy says menopause, the weight gain is awful. So let's get a hold of that so that it does not continue to hold us back. And Kathy says knowledge is holding her back. So we're looking for weight loss across the board. So let's take a look at some individual questions. And if you're on and you have a question and you want to drop it in the chat, you can go ahead and I'll answer them. And if anybody is watching the replay as well, then go ahead and drop your questions in the chat and I'll answer them later, okay? So Kelsey says, what are some effective workouts that I can do from home? So what's exciting is that all of the programs that I've built 7 or 8 strength training programs and core programs, and they can all be done at home. I do all of my workouts here at home. You don't have a large space, and I don't think that you need one. This is, see that little blue mat? There's the floor, there's my bench, there's my bike, and right here is my weight rack and my foam roller. And there's a little mirror and there's a little TV, right? And so it's not a lot of space. You don't need a lot of space to get workouts done. For all of my workouts, pretty much that I've written, because I wrote them mostly during COVID era, is a few sets of dumbbells and a mat and a little tiny bit of space, bench optional. And so what I believe that makes an effective workout, right? You can do these at home, and you can grow your arsenal of weights. We've grown this weight rack over the years. In fact, I just got my most recent set of weights, 50-pound dumbbells. The 40s, I think we got those, close to maybe 6 or 8 years ago. But the 50s I just got for Christmas from my mother-in-law. And so I started out with a tiny set of 4-pound dumbbells, and that's all I had, and just kind of built up my arsenal over the years as I got stronger. And so effective workouts, I believe, are going to be the strength training. I always say focus on the strength. That's going to get you the farthest, probably the fastest. It's going to help you raise your metabolism. It's going to help you build lean muscle, which is going to kind of eat up the fat in your body. And it's going to help you get, energized and preserve your energy. And it's really the key during this period of time. What we need in an effective strength training workout or an effective strength training program is consistency and progression. So progression means that when I build a program, strength training program, they're generally 3 to 4 weeks in a segment or as a program. And every week it gets harder in some way, whether you're adding time under tension. So we're doing the exercises longer, or we're doing more reps, or we're doing heavier weight, or we're adding a new element that makes it tougher. Like in my 10-minute tone up in our second week, we add pulses. And so we want to be progressing from week to week to make the workouts harder. And that's going to push our body, and it's going to push our muscles to work harder. It's going to push them to tear and build back stronger. And then the next thing we have is we want to change things up. So we can't have the same routine forever. I remember a while back, I started with some videos, and I was doing these same videos all the time. I ended up getting tendinitis because I was doing the same thing forever, and I was doing too much of it. And so my body never got a rest, and I never changed it up. And it was just too much repetition of the same movement, like for a really long time. And so what I learned is that I needed to change it up. And also, if you want to keep things exciting and fresh and fun, then changing up your routine is going to make it, more fun to be in. And you always want to keep your body guessing and have an enjoyable time. I think it's also fine to do workouts that are anywhere from 10 to 45 minutes. And most of my programs fall within that 20 to 30 minute range. So it doesn't have to be super long either. Okay, Charlene wants to know, how do I get abs? Oh, it's my favorite question. People say that abs are made in the kitchen, but they're not. I'll stand behind that all day long. I don't believe abs are made in the kitchen. I think they're revealed in the kitchen. So you could build some beautiful, you can't build abs if you don't work your abs, right? Your abdominal muscles. If you don't work the muscle, they're not just going to appear. So it actually is going to be that you have to build the abdominal muscles. Now, one thing that you have to do before or during, while you're growing those muscles, you have to also be stabilizing and building endurance in those muscles. The core also goes all the way around. And so we don't just want to be doing ab work in the front, like crunches and sit-ups. We need to be stabilizing with things like planks. We want to be working our obliques. We want to be working what we call the posterior chain in the back, because we have to work in opposition. We have to, if anybody's heard of, working in opposition, if we work our biceps, we have to work our triceps. And if we work our chest, we have to work our back, because if we work an imbalance and our chest is really strong, but our back is really weak, we're going to end up with rounded shoulders. And so we need to keep the back strong so that it keeps pulled back, the chest strong too. And so it's the same thing with the core. We want to work 360 degrees of the core. And we also want to work it in different ways. And so what's important is that we're building strength, stability, and building those ab muscles if you want to see them. So building a six-pack is going to take consistency and doing all the things and working all the muscles. And so I created an amazing ab workout program called Jill's Killer Abs. I created a second program called Iron Core 360 for golfers. And I do one of those two programs every single month. And I have been for come February, it'll be 3 years of being super consistent with my ab workouts. And so that basically both of those programs are 20 workouts for abs and glutes. And they're 7 to 8 minutes each, except for the last day, that's 12 minutes. And you'll work the abs all the way around from different angles in different ways. And that's how we build abs, right? So we're going to build the abs, but then also if you're not eating right, then you're not going to see them because you're going to have a layer of fat over them. So that's where we want to also be eating well to reduce our fat all over our body. You can't spot reduce fat. Our fat cells grow and shrink at the same rate. You may have them in different places depending on how God made you, but we want to have a really clean diet and one for fat loss if we're looking to reveal those abs. So I'm your girl. If you want information on that, that was Charlene. I will send you information on Jill's Killer Abs. All right. If anybody else wants it, just pop abs below and I will send you that information too. Tammy wants to know, why does all of my weight go to my midsection? So this is something that happens during the menopausal transition years where our hormones are changing. We're losing estrogen and progesterone, and those were the hormones that prevented our belly fat storage. And so when these hormones start to go away, we become more sensitive to cortisol, which sometimes a good hormone and sometimes is a bad hormone for us. If we have too much cortisol, we tend to store fat in our bellies and even our hips and thighs as well as women. And so as we start to go through that transitional period where we no longer need to be reproducing anymore, which, starts sometimes as early as your 40s, your hormones are starting to change. That's premenopause. Perimenopause is when you start to lose your cycle or your cycle becomes erratic. And then menopause is once you have not had a period for 12 months. And then any time after that day is postmenopause. And so what we need to do now is we need to take over what the estrogen and the progesterone used to do for us. And we need to help, with our nutritional approach, with our fitness approach, with our sleep and recovery, with our stress management. All of these things are going to help us control that cortisol. And that is going to absolutely help control that midsection belly fat, okay? So things you can do. So that's why, that was what Tammy had asked. This is also explained in my menopausal metabolism reboot. And then we need to start taking action. So it's going to be about gaining the knowledge as to what's going on, what you need to do, taking action to start doing it and to see it through and be consistent, and then continuing to build muscle. Know what nutrition framework is going to be most helpful for you and enjoyable for you, keep you on track with your goals and get you to your goals. Okay. Laura asks, how can I lose my midsection without a restrictive diet and hours at the gym? I work 3 to 4 days a week, 12-hour shifts, and I don't have the energy to work out on those days. So for Laura, I might suggest either way the menopausal metabolism reboot. If it is something with the cortisol, blood sugar regulation, 12-hour shifts could be taking a toll on her body, then I would, number one, start with short workouts. So menopausal reboot goes with fit and fast workouts, 20 minutes. You can even double up on the days that you have work. So if she's working 3 to 4 days, then the other 3 to 4 days, she can get, there's 5 20-minute workouts, right, a week. So if she pairs up a couple of them, she can have a 40-minute workout, a 40-minute workout, and a 20-minute workout. They are not cardio. They're purely strength training. We're trying to do what's really effective, going to preserve our energy, going to build our muscle mass so that we can have more muscle mass, less fat mass, and start to see more results, okay? And then without restrictive dieting is not going to help you anyways, because anytime somebody tells you what not to do, what do you want to do? You want to do the exact opposite. So if you tell me you can't have this, all I want is this. But if you tell me all the things that I can have and you show me all the things I can have and it looks amazing and it makes me really happy and it's a great variety, then that's what I'm going to focus on. So we don't want to focus on anything that is very restrictive. And that's what we see in terms of fad diets and Instagram diets and those kinds of things is, what are you cutting out? What can't we have? It's low this and low that, and you can't have this, and you can't eat at that time. And those things are going to feel restrictive and it's going to make it harder for you. And quite honestly, the best thing you can do is eat regularly and eat all the different things that make a balanced diet, okay? So Laura, let's either have a call, or let's get you on either the macros masterclass with the 10-minute workouts. Same thing, you can kind of like pair those up together so that you're working out on the days you don't work, or you can do the menopausal reboot with the fit and fast workouts. Either plan would be a great place for you to start. Maybe once you finish one, you can do the other. If you want to work with me personally and have the private coaching as well and have somebody who's like on your side, keeping a hawk's eye on what's going on and helping you and changing things at all the stages and really guiding you through, then that would be an opportunity for you to join my Empowered Fitness Mastery program, which we could talk about on a call as well. Okay? Savannah asks, what's the most important component to losing menopausal weight? So I would say managing your hormones and stress, okay? Why would I say that? Like most people would say, oh, I thought nutrition was 80%, right? And they know that workouts are really important too. But I could totally have a client who is 100% on nutrition and 100% doing all of their workouts, but super stressed out, sleeping like crap, and not getting results. And so really it comes down to, I think, number one component would be stress management and preserving your energy and your mindset and your stress, right? So we need to get that in check. And I think that having a coach who's got your back and can remind you of all the things that are important along the journey that need to be in alignment, seeing that holistic view is really important. So obviously having all these things in alignment are important, but I think that the stress management is probably at the top, because if the hormones are so out of whack, even though you're eating, really well, it may not help, right? Okay. Camille wants to know, how do I get rid of the visceral fat around my waist? This is probably, if it's due to hormones, then we need to watch out for that blood sugar regulation and start eating a diet that's, pretty even throughout the day, making sure that we're not spiking our cortisol levels. If it's a matter of being consistent with eating well, then we need to look at that too. And what's interesting too is next, Helena says, how do I speed up my metabolism? So adding more muscle mass to your body for both of these things is going to help you. It's going to be quicker to lose more fat and to have a revved up metabolism that's really healthy and that your nutrition, if you eat a piece of pizza, you're not going to gain 5 pounds because your body is craving more calories and needs more calories if you have more muscle mass. So I would say let's add muscle to that body, which in order to do that, number one, you can't be under eating. Number two, you got to be working the muscles hard enough that they're going to be tearing and building stronger. So those are my answers for those things. Okay. And again, you don't need a ton of time to tear the muscle. Those 10-minute tone up workouts, I've been doing them, and they're tough. they're pretty tough, but they're not exhausting, right? It's tough during the workout, but after the 10-minute workout, you can recover. And that's really important, is having that recovery time. Mindy asks, how much is hormones and how much is actual fitness? So again, it's both. If you are not doing any exercise, then you're not really helping yourself in the journey for the long term. But hormones, I would say, are something to definitely be careful of. I think also a lot of people say, well, before I get into the fitness and nutrition, I should probably go get hormone replacement therapy. But the thing is with that is that if you're not doing the other things that you can actually control, then the hormone replacement therapy might actually not help you either, right? And that hormone replacement therapy is not going to shift your weight loss necessarily. It's going to help you with a lot of the symptoms of menopause, right? The hot flashes, the night sweats, which could be affecting your weight loss. If you are not sleeping, you are going to struggle with recovery, and you may not lose weight if you're not sleeping. So if you're really struggling with those symptoms and you've taken the first steps of doing what you can with your nutrition, your fitness, your mood, your sleep, and and your stress, then I might look to that HRT to see how it can help you. Debbie asks, how can I balance this all to help myself? I think that if you're talking about balancing your energy, balancing your nutrition, your fitness, all these things, I think it's number one, knowledge and a clear plan, right? It's really hard to get to where we're going if we close our eyes, if we don't know how to get there. Right? So one of the things I like to say, I say this a lot on my game plan calls, is that if you are going somewhere new, right? My husband, I just heard him leave. He's heading to Ponte Vedra, which is cold right now, up northern Florida. And if he just kind of gets in the car and starts driving, I mean, he could probably maybe get close because it's between 95 north, right? But wouldn't it be so much better if you just plugged in the address into the GPS and it told him where the traffic was and which way is the best way to go and exactly what time he's going to get there, right? And so when we actually have clarity about what it's going to take to get to our goals and how we get there, and then we see it, that's a really important thing for me, is to see, right? So I have calendars everywhere. Right? All kinds of calendars. This is a monthly calendar, right? I have weekly calendars. I have, this is a daily time blocker, right? So this one is down to what am I doing by the hour? And so I will tell you, when I don't fill any of this stuff out and I'm flying by the seat of my pants, I do not do half as well as when I plan it, right? And I see it. And I see how it all comes together. And that's one of the reasons why here it is, January 20th to the 26th. This is my plan for this week. It's all written out. It's super clear. When I hop off of this, I know exactly what I'm eating for lunch because I planned my week out. I know exactly what I need to do. I know that my husband was leaving today to go on his business trip. I know what my workouts are. I know everything that's going on. And when you can see it, it's so much easier when you've got a clear plan and it's based on science and, and what you have discovered will get you the results. Okay. So I think part of balancing it it says, how do I balance this all to help myself? Number one, having some coaching would help. having a plan of action and having these really clear steps, right? And so that's why I love when my clients and I get together. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 of these, what we call momentum calls. And that's, I named them momentum calls. We have 2 a month per client, and it helps keep their momentum moving forward. And I give them clarity and feedback, and they tell me what's going on, and we make our next step plans. And if they have, stuff coming up, like I wrote down this morning, we've got one of my clients has a trip to Florida in early March and a baby shower April 12th, and we've got our goals and we've got our plan. And after she finishes, we already have in place, she's finishing up 1 program next week, and then we've got the next 4 weeks planned out, and then we even have the next week planned out. And so we've got it all planned out. That gives you a lot of confidence. So I don't expect you to be able to do it on your own, but these are all things that I think really help you when you're making that plan and you see it and you can visualize it and then you just see it through, okay? Marcy wants to know, why won't the weight come off? She had said before that menopause is holding her back. So it's possible, Marcy, that you don't know all the rules of the game. I've said this before on calls too. Have you ever tried playing like Chutes and Ladders or Candyland with a 7-year-old and they just keep changing the rules and you can't win? So you need to know the rules of the game if you're going to win the game. And so you got to think of this period as something that maybe you just don't know yet, how to play the game, how to manage menopause and manage your weight through this period. So number 1 is learning the rules and then seeing it through and playing by those rules, and you'll see it. We can make that turnaround. Give me 5 days and I can turn it right around for you, okay? And then Kathy's our last question. She says, I've tried so many things and I can never lose weight. It's so frustrating. So that wasn't a question, that was a statement. But I know, I totally get it. I was in your shoes. I tried all the things. Nothing was working. It was so frustrating. If you, I'm trying to think, if you go to my site, many of you have landed on already, programs.jillortizfitness.com. Or I put it on my YouTube. I actually, yesterday I filmed a new video for this, for the page where you can book a call with me. If you go to my YouTube, just go to Jill Ortiz or Jill Ortiz Fitness on YouTube. There's a new video up, and I talk about my story and how I was struggling and all the things that I did wrong and how I finally came through. And, and I tried all the different things and nothing was working. And it was finally when I hired somebody to help me. I just couldn't figure it out on my own, and I wasn't seeing it through on my own, and I didn't have faith in myself. But then when I got a coach, and the first thing that she did, we got my fitness plan, my nutrition plan, and we had our plan for accountability. And I simply emailed her every night. It's kind of weird. Like, that was my accountability, was just me emailing her. And then I would get a little response back, like tiny little response that said, way to go, do it again tomorrow, or keep it up, like doing great. That was all I needed. I just needed somebody on the other end to be there. I needed some kind of mechanism for accountability, and I needed the plan. And I felt, like I made a commitment, and I wanted to see it through for me and to make her proud too. And eventually I got it on my own, and I figured it out. And what I found is that staying connected to others who are wanting to do the same, i.e. you guys, my clients, and keeping my audience up to date on what I'm doing, I think that's really helped me too. So I will tell you, I've never done this journey alone because it wasn't working when I was doing it alone. So I know it's kind of like, going through a million bad boyfriends and then finally finding the one. It just might be that you haven't found the right thing yet, the right solution. But I feel really strongly because I've been building my programming, my programs, my messaging, listening to you guys and what you need, listening to your questions and building things based on what you need. And I'm still constantly building new things and bringing them and offering you so many opportunities. I think that I definitely have something that can help you. So it's just us pinpointing where to start you at, and but I have a lot of faith. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any more questions, just pop them below or give me a shout. You can just click on my name and send me a message too. And I'd love to have some calls this week with many of you and get you going in the right direction, or see that you sign up for one of my programs. That would be fantastic. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.